Hey everyone, this is the Tin Group. My name's Micah.
My name's Enya.
And my name's Marcella.
And this is our presentation. Before we get into the history of tin, let's first talk about the atomic aspects of it. Tin is an element that is found on the 5th period and 14th group of the periodic table and has an atomic number of 50, meaning there are 50 protons and 4 electrons in the outer shell. It can use either 2 or 4 of the electrons for bonding. The symbol for tin is Sn, and it comes from the Anglo-Saxon word tin.
Tin was created from a supernova in small stars. It went through a process called nuclear fusion, which is when multiple smaller nuclei fuse together to create a bigger element. It can be found in the Tin Belt, which is China, Thailand, and Indonesia. But it could also be mined in Peru, Bolivia, Brazil, Malaysia, and the west of England. Tin is also very flexible, and it can be extracted by roasting the mineral castrate with carbon in a furnace to approximately 2,500 degrees of Fahrenheit.
Tin was mixed with copper to make bronze. This bronze made armor, which was mainly during the Bronze Age, from 3000 BC to 1200 BC. Pewter and dishware. Pewter was used around the beginning of the Bronze Age in the Near East. The earliest piece of pewter found is from an Egyptian tomb from 1450 BC. Solder. A solder is tin and lead, or a metal alloy, which is used to create a permanent bond between metal workpieces. The ratio of the mixture is often 60% tin and 40% lead. Tinfoil is used for cooking as early as the late 19th century. Bottom paint. It is also called anti-fouling paint. It prevents marine organisms such as barnacles and zebra mussels, weeds, slime, and algae from attaching themselves to the bottoms of boats. Glass. Tin is used in the Pilkington process to produce window glass. In the Pilkington process, molten glass is poured into a pool of molten tin. The glass floats on the surface of the tin and cools, forming solid glass with parallel surfaces. Most of the window glass produced today is made this way. Cans. The British government granted a patent to a merchant, Peter Durand, for his idea of using tin to create containers to preserve food. Batteries use tin to protect the lithium and sodium electrodes and to prevent them from breaking down in use.
Even though the tin has been very helpful, tin has also been the downfall of some historical events. For example, 200 years ago, Napoleon's army took on the Russians. Though this battle was victorious for the French, this battle marked a major strategic setback. At the end of the battle, only 10,000 out of the initial 5 million made it out of Russia alive. The culprit of the large amount of deaths was their buttons on their coats. So the bonding structure of tin atoms began to change when temperatures dropped below 56 degrees Fahrenheit. And tin was a major metal used to make buttons in the French army's uniforms. As the severe Russian temperatures approached negative 30 degrees Celsius, the buttons may have turned to dust, resulting in people freezing to death in their broken coats. Now we're going to put this process to the test to see if it actually works.
Our first experiment was to smash frozen tin into a fine powder. Overall, the hammering did not work, so we ended up filing it down into a powder instead.
This is what the tin ended up looking like after the hammering. You can tell that tin is shiny, metallic, and malleable, and is silver in color. And here is a tin piece that wasn't hammered, just for comparison. And this is what the tin in its white tin form looks like, ground down into a powder.
We wanted to do 3 experiments and show everyone how tin can be used. Because of safety hazards, we couldn't execute the firework experiment. The hedgehog experiment was a very slow reaction, so it couldn't be filmed all at once. But here are what the experiments look like.
After doing a little bit of extra research, we realized that 56 degrees is the point where tin starts changing its inner structure and transforming from white tin into what scientists call gray tin. However, it's not until roughly -30 degrees that the tin actually breaks down into tin pest, which was what we were hoping would happen.
Because zinc is more reactive than tin, it is able to displace the tin metal by giving electrons to the tin chloride. In result, the tin crystallizes outside of the zinc.
The idea behind the tin firework experiment is that tin, especially in its powder form, reacts exothermically with the fire, causing a burst of extra flames, as you can see in the slow-mo. Tin has been very influential and useful for humans in the past and in the present, and we're just going to end the video with some satisfying tin pest, tin firework clips.